Good morning. It is Thursday, the 19th of March 2020, and the sun is in Pisces, the last day of Pisces. So we're going through the gateway and into the spring equinox tomorrow, which means we go into Aries, fire, and the initiation of our journey on the solar wheel. So it's an amazing time of revelation, and the moon at the moment in Glastonbury is in Aquarius at 4 degrees. Many fireflies at dusk. You become aware all at once of staggering things, of astounding things, of world-shattering things, states of revelation. You are being called inwardly to shake off the slumber of the common day and to heed the stirrings of the future. Capable of bounding leaps, you are infused with a spirit of new beginnings, especially strongly drawn towards altered states and threshold awareness. You've been brought to places where all of the shared assumptions and ideologies become pale and lifeless, and something other sparks recognition and pursuit. Collectively inspired to find alternatives, to seek a vision, to gather with those who are similarly touched. You are in on the ground floor of new movements and innovative discoveries, and full of wonder and awe at the process and at a whole way of things in worlds such as this one. Wow. That is my Lilith in Aquarius degree, the structure, and so key for me at this time. So over the weekend we have Saturn going into Aquarius and seeing what that allows to happen. If you want to check out the degrees, it's from a channeled work called Inside Degrees, and the website is aquaorfire.net. If you know the degrees in your personal chart, this is a great way to expand and understand your personal cosmic story and why you are here at this time. So today we are in day 3 of, I haven't moved my blue tack this morning, there you go, and change. Okay, so here we are in the last 13-day spiral down to the cosmic shift down here, and we go into the next spiral on the 30th of March, and that will initiate new beginnings. So today we're on day 3 of that, and day 3 of any wave spell is the alchemy day. So we have day 1 is the initiation, which was in yellow star, being the star that we really are, what we've come here for, our cosmic codes, our mission impossible should we choose to accept it. Day 2 was red lunar moon yesterday, the new learning around our emotional intelligence and our inner child becoming emotionally mature. Red lunar moon is the 28-day period that begins in July as we go into Virgo. More information about these codes on my website, flowwithjo.com, where you can check out galactic signatures and you can check out the Gregorian calendar dates so you can cross-reference and use them in a practical, grounded way to understand where you are on your journey, which is the key focus as to how you are being the Skywalker who is changing yourself and therefore changing the world. Really, really key coming into play now. So day 3, the alchemy day, is white electric dog. And white electric dog is key to transforming all of our conditions around love, what we've learned, how we've learned to conditionally love and be a conditional human being, which is how our emotional mind works. And remember that the epicenter there in the blue column in the white mirror 13-day process is white cosmic dog. What needs to shift around our ancestral wounding so we can be free of the old story. This is happening on a super scale now on the planet. Okay, so today we are in Red Galactic Moon day 13. So we're in the gateway. We've been in it for 13 days. And so again, each Mayan moon, beginning with on the 26th of July every year, magnetic moon, we have 28 days of that. So whatever you were doing back on the 26th of July was an initiation for you around your inner child maturation. So back in Leo time, what were you doing in 2019? This is a key as to what was initiated for you. And now you're going through the gateway of it. We all are. So 13 days ago, we began the red solar moon 28-day period. So red moon itself is the 9th Mayan sign, is the gateway point. So in numerology, we have 8 steps, 8 days, 8 years, 8 generations, and then we go into the 9th. And the 9th gives us an ability to have worked through all the previous steps and to integrate our shadow, to heal emotionally what has been happening to us in our family story, and to end that story through doing that process. You cannot do this intellectually. You have to heal your emotional trauma, and the way that you know that you have done that is you have less and less emotional triggers happening to you every day. So at this time we are at Uranus in Taurus, we've got Saturn going into Aquarius, and we've got a huge pattern interrupt going on the planet. Lots of love to everybody out there, because I know it's a really, really challenging time and it's bringing all our stuff up. And I want to offer you a way to work with this, where you focus on yourself and you get yourself into a really good, centered, grounded space. So over the coming weeks, I will be sharing resources that you can use and ways that I can help you to help yourself. This time is about getting off the codependency patterns. It's about knowing who you really are and knowing who you're not. How to discover truth, how to discover manipulation and narcissistic patterns of relating on an even deeper level. So what I want to offer you today is the Mayan 260-day cycle and all the amazing resources that go with that are a conscious creation framework that was put in place for this time for each one of us to understand what is going on in the bigger picture of human evolution. So what is going on is that we are coming to the end of an imbalance around human beings and how they relate, and especially because we have entered this new 13-year cycle also on the 26th of July of the moon goddess Ixchel. A new 13-year cycle has started around self-empowerment and letting the magic flow through us. Now, I know for many people these are shocking times, and I knew that there would be huge changes happening because of the astrology, as astrologers do. And I knew because of the cycles with the Mayan calendar that there would be huge shifts happening. And I think what we've all got in common is we just did not, in any way, shape or form, know how that was going to happen. And so what we're seeing now is a huge shift in our collective, which is Aquarius, experience, and also our individual experience. So what we're being asked to do is to self-isolate and to stop going out into community in the ways that we have done. And on every level, we are now seeing our fears reflected out onto the world. So the last time we had a huge experience was 9/11, and also the financial crash in 2008. And so for each one of us individually, we are experiencing that again, and on a whole different level. So we've never experienced this in the way that we're experiencing it now in the same way. However, when we look back at earlier crises on the planet, we can see how human beings have been isolated and limited in certain respects, and freedom to move, freedom to travel has been completely stopped. So what I want to offer you is using the Mayan framework, which is, we are in a giant mystery school. We are in a holographic experience where we're seeing our inner world, our inner beliefs reflected out onto the general area of engagement, the world, and how that is unique to each individual. First and foremost, each one of us has had different life experiences which craft and shape our understanding and perception of the world. So often we believe that our individual perception is how the world is, but I offer you that that is not true. We have some shared beliefs around how the world is and how we perceive it, and we have each a unique perspective which is based on our cosmic code, on our astrology, on our galactic signature, and also on what we have as to our life story on a personal level. And then when you go deeper than that, you realize that your personal life story is a continuation of every story that has gone before you. And so in your DNA, on a cellular level, you are an embodiment of that. Now, many people that I work with, especially women, have the same pattern as me. And so this is beneficial to all parties, you know, when I work in groups as well, is to understand, again, the true meaning of in Lakesh, I am another you. In this perspective, there are 260 human evolution stories, which is the 20 Mayan signs, and each one having 13 different variations, vibrations, tones of that. It is a very complex system, and it is very possible to learn it. I've been working with it for 9 years now. How I see it as being used is it is experiential. It is to be used personally for each human being to understand their own personal code, their own personal story, and to heal any wounding in that story and become free of it. How I have learned to do that is through clearing my amygdala wounding using emotional freedom technique. In all my videos, I really show how passionate I am about this technique, and I ask you most sincerely to go and check it out now, because as a human being at a time of crisis, this is one of the key tools that you can use to work with your fear on a daily basis and to bring you into a place of peace and calm. It works. It's a cutting edge therapy. It's an energy therapy. And again, all depends on your own personal belief system. You don't have to believe in it. You don't even have to know how it works. It does work. That's what I offer you. I've been using it for 13 years for myself. And I have been sharing that, working with other people of every age, every background, and seeing huge transformational shift, often in a very dynamic way. Many people are offering lots of transformational tools at this time, and they work for a short period of time. So they stop the mind chatter, they stop the inner story for a while, and they allow the individual to remove themselves from their fear and anxiety. And all of that is great. So I encourage you to do all of these activities, to get out in nature in a way that is safe for you, that matches your beliefs and matches what we've been instructed to do by our society, to connect with the earth, to focus on connecting to source, divinity, however you know that, so that you can feel supported and held through this time. To keep yourself well. This is so key, to remove yourself from any toxic situations as much as you can. And I know that isn't possible for everybody right now, that we're all in a process of going through this. What I want to say to you is the astrology is in alignment with moving us out of these situations. So the positive aspects of why this is happening now are allowing, in NLP terms, this is a pattern interrupt. So we're having a huge shift, whether we like it or not. Things are being stopped, and we are coming into awareness of how that feels for us. The work that I do has a different focus, and this is a focus of emotional freedom technique. So instead of bypassing our fear, we actively work with it. So you know what your voices are at the moment around your self-talk. That's the first place to begin. Learn how to use emotional freedom technique. If you need support with that, please contact me or contact somebody who is an experienced EFT therapist and is in your area. where you can work with them either in a safe way on a one-to-one in person, where you can keep your distance because no physical contact is required, or you can use a remote online service, which I use, such as Zoom. So you can get support at this time. And again, this may seem radical to you, but we're all in this together, and we all have a manifestation on the planet of our fears right now as to what happened to us as human beings and all of our tribe right back to the beginning of time, where we felt unsafe either in our environment, around our health, around other people. So you can see the manifestation now is that we are literally seeing that we are afraid to be around other people. We are afraid to touch other people. We are afraid to hug other people. We are afraid if we get a cough, if we get a sneeze. We're afraid of all of these things that we are being told by the authorities around what this virus is and how we should be working with it. So the reason for me making this video is to bring in an additional tool for you that you can use that will help you stay grounded, will help you release your fears, and will help you really connect to remember who you really are at this very challenging time. As we start to let go of these toxic ways of being, toxic ways of relating, ways of putting things into our bodies that are very harmful to human beings, we realise just how fragile and vulnerable we are. And so often all these other fears, all these masks, all these coping behaviours that have kept us going, have allowed us to survive, have also kept us really stuck in many ways. And now is the time to start letting them go and understand how the emotional mind works and how we are a product of our past experience during this life and also everyone else's who came before in our DNA. The difference with the emotional mind is it is not logical. Okay, so again, using white dog today, we have a mammalian part of our mind that is very similar to dogs. So in the same way, it can be conditioned. So check out Pavlov in terms of psychology if you haven't checked that out. It's great to look at all sorts of psychological experiments now and understand how we are conditioned as human beings and how we can let go of that and let go of our inner child wounding, which we all have, because everything that has happened to human beings over hundreds of years has impacted on our psyche. So the emotional mind basically records anything that is traumatic to us, and how we know it's traumatic is we have an emotional reaction to it. And so this is fundamentally the difference between the logical mind and the emotional mind. This is why knowing something intellectually does not mean that we have embodied it, does not mean that we live it. It just means that we know it intellectually. And so you may find yourself feeling frustrated around, I know this stuff, why am I still doing it? This is a crucial understanding. If you haven't cleared your emotional mind, your amygdala of past trauma, then it's still running for you. And this is why we are seeing things playing out in the way that they are on the planet. So if you want to change the outside, if you want to change what's happening on the planet, the key focus for each individual person has to be on releasing the emotional trauma and the story. I offer you that what we see as a problem is the solution. So a great way to start is look up how to do EFT. There's thousands of videos out there. Check out my website, playwithjo.com. There's loads of free resources for you on there. If you want to learn EFT on a one-to-one, I offer that as well, and I can do that online with you. Wherever you are in the world, I can help you learn this tool and really start to work on yourself straight away. Once you understand that your triggers, the problem, the self-talk, whatever's happening for you now, because if it's not happening now, when is it going to happen? You know, and I don't mean to make light of this. It's my way of trying to cope with it, because things that are happening in my life, I see a repeat of it, and I feel very sad. I'm a very emotional person, and I just feel my heart goes out to people. I have huge compassion that people are going through huge suffering right now. They're being denied their connection to each other. They're being denied their connection at time of death. They're being held in isolation and repeating many patterns of extreme trauma. As a very emotional person, I have learned very much since 13 years ago that I have to get in my center, and I have to be focused, and I have to let go of anything that is creating fear for me, because I know without any doubt, having been a student of psychology for 25 years now, and having learned many different methodologies and working with lots of people, I understand that we have to get in our center, and we have to find practical, solution-based, which again is Aquarius focus, to deal with what has created the situation that we are in now. So, whatever your perspective is on this, do your due diligence and really start to, you've got time to, if you're not working, that is, you know, if you're self-isolating, you've got time to do your research now around patterns in the past, times when this has happened before on the planet. Look at the history, find the information. Ask to be supported by your higher self, by your guides, again, however you see that. Ask and it is given. So find the support for yourself. Find the science. Again, people talk about this as though it's a truth, and actually it's a perspective just like everything else. And certain people believe in certain beliefs. This has been going on since the beginning of time. So again, try and have an open mind and start to look for what you feel resonates with truth for you. We're all where we are, at this time on our own personal journey. Each one of us is placed at different stage of awareness, of healing, and coming into balance with mind, body, and spirit, our masculine and our feminine. In terms of where you are, you will get the answers that you need at this time for you. This time really is about going into self-existing, healthy ways of being as a human being. And so all the ways that are not healthy for human beings, that cause toxicity, that cause emotional trauma, have to stop. Taking the small steps, moving towards that space now. And everything is aligning with us to allow that to happen, even though it may not seem like it. There are amazing, amazing things happening now, as well as scary things. And what I offer you is the more that you connect to your fear with the intention of letting it go, bringing it to awareness, using a tool like EFT to actively work with it, will lead you back to when it was created for you in your past. And it all began when you were a child, because that's how it is for all of us. So the solar wheel that starts tomorrow is Blue Self-Existing Monkey, the divine child that is seeking to heal. Remember that no matter how much we get into a positive space intellectually, and that's it, in a lot of ways, it's what our thoughts are telling us that allow us to feel happiness and joy. And the only thing that's getting in the way of that is our thoughts. Yeah. So instead of letting your thoughts flow by or increase or become panicky, work with them, because they have a causality. They have a reason for being. They're trying to keep you safe. And that's it. So just to bring this to a close now, learn about your cosmic codes, find some tools to support you, and if you need any more assistance to get started on your journey or to support you wherever you are right now, then please do get in touch and look out on my website for up and coming webinars. I have a monthly online group. It's a time of service. It's a time of coming into this amazing new way of being for human beings. So let's do it. Lots of love to you all. Bye for now.